Hello, Steelers Nation, and welcome to the latest episode of your Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate with me, your host, Pittsburgh and your voice from across the pond. So, today I'm going to be talking about one of, I think, the best signings the Pittsburgh Steelers have made this offseason. I'm going to be talking about Brian Flores. Brian Flores, the former Miami Dolphins head coach, now the Pittsburgh Steelers senior defensive assistant and linebackers coach. A guy who I think is going to bring so much knowledge, so much quality, and so much extra talent to our coaching staff that can only benefit not only our defense, but the whole Pittsburgh Steelers roster. You know, if you look at this guy's career, if you look at what this guy has achieved in his career, it is fantastic. You know, the places he's coached, what he's done. Flores has been a fantastic coach with a vast array of experience. So we look at it here. You know, not only has he worked as a coach, he's also worked as an executive as well. Between 2004 and 2005, he was a scouting assistant. Between 2006 and 2007, he was a pro scout. Before he ever got into the coaching side of it, he worked in the scouting side of football. He understands what makes a good player. That background gives him knowledge on what is a good NFL player and something he will see in the Steelers players, hopefully. He's worked as a special teams assistant, an offense and special teams assistant. So he's worked on the offensive side of the ball as well. So he's got that understanding of the offensive side of the ball as well as the defensive side of the ball. He was a defensive assistant in 2011. He was a safeties coach at New England between 2012 and 2015. He was between 2016 and 2018. He was the linebackers coach. In 2018, he was, in all but name, the defensive coordinator of the New England Patriots. Head coach for the Dolphins between 2019 and 2021. Very unlucky to lose his job, considering he was the first Dolphins head coach in a number of years to get them to back-to-back winning seasons. And as it says there now, we are lucky enough to have him here as a senior defensive assistant and linebackers coach. But not only that, guys, remember this. He is a 4-time Super Bowl champion. His head coaching record is not too bad considering the first season he was in Miami, his team, he had some players that really stank and they were shipping out a lot of talent in order to tank for Tua. So 4-time Super Bowl champion as well. That's what Brian Flores brings to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, one thing we need to consider as Steeler fans is not only is he a defensive genius who will work well with Terrell Austin and benefit Terrell Austin as defensive coordinator, but the fact he is an ex-head coach. Now, as an ex-head coach, he will have to understand every facet of the game, every facet of the position coaches, every facet of the coordinators' jobs, the players' jobs. He can bring all that expertise to the Steelers. And when he's working one-on-one with linebackers, with the defense, with the D-line, with the players in our defensive unit, he can bring to bear all that excellent knowledge he has got, which will only tool up our defense to be even better this season. Now, that defense, even without Stephon Tuitt, I think is going to be a formidable defense and what a top 10 defense in the NFL. Now, if you look at as well, Brian Flores has already started to have a very, very positive effect on the Pittsburgh Steelers in what they're doing at OTAs. Yes, I know OTAs is football in shorts, fully aware of that fact, but it's what he's starting to put in place. He's starting to put in place the foundations of an outstanding linebacker corps and an outstanding defense. Yes, I know he's the linebackers coach, but as senior defensive assistant, he is starting to have an input as well with the defense, with the defensive line, and benefiting their knowledge, their skill set, their tools to become even better players. So let's have a look at, he's already started working with Miles Jack and Devin Bush. The inside linebacker pair does need to have a much better season than last season. I know Miles Jack wasn't with the Steelers last year. It was Joe Schobert and Devin Bush. But Devin Bush and Joe Schobert really struggled last season for two reasons, really. I think one was that the fact that the defensive line was very weak and couldn't keep that second level clean. Having Cam and Tyson there will really benefit them this season. In addition to that, as Devin Bush has revealed, he wasn't fully fit last year. He was still trying to overcome that ACL. He did not trust that knee in the slightest. And the quote that he gave the other day at OTAs, where he talked about the fact that he was starting to feel he was back to himself and he was looking forward to playing football back to the way he used to play football. And that is very telling. But Flores has already started to work with Jack and Bush on attack routes, on coverage routes, on slants, on the way to play the game at inside linebacker. and is already starting to have a very, very positive effect on them. Miles Jack has been absolutely glowing in how he's talked about Brian Flores. He said, for example, this. When asked about Brian Flores, he said, "Great coach, should be a head coach in this league. Very detailed, very specific. You know exactly what he expects from you. I enjoy it. So you know what you're doing, getting going into each practice. Very detailed. He can explain things. I enjoy it. I feel like it's having a cheat sheet as a coach. It's cool." Fantastic there already. Miles Jack showing what benefit uh, Flores is already starting to have, giving him exact instruction. He knows exactly what he's got to do out on that field. The influence Flores is already having over the linebackers is already starting to be felt. In addition to that, Jack also said, "That's really the main reason I came here is because I knew I was going to get coached up." He continued, and with Coach Flores, he's a head coach, man, clear cut. He's a head coach in this league. So let me have him on a one-to-one basis and coach up the linebackers. I think it's stealing for me. Any question I can ask, he has an answer. It's great. It's great coming from what I'm used to. So that second level, straight away, Flores' expertise was a major attraction, a major pulling factor. Not only have we got Mike Tomlin, one of the best head coaches in the NFL, we've also got now Brian Flores, who is a major pulling factor, as it's seen there with Miles Jack. And like it says on there, like Jack says, he's got that experience to really coach up the players. Now, listening to Steelers reporters who were at Steelers OTAs for these last 2 weeks, people like Jenna Harner, Chris Carter, Wes Euler, who will be on our podcast on Sunday, hopefully. Look, check it out. They've all said that the thing that comes across most is that the players enjoy listening to him. They want to listen to him. And the fact that he's very exact, it's not a case of that's good enough. It's a case of no, let's go back and run that again. Let's get it right. Let's get it spot on. He expects perfection. And that's rubbing off on the players. They want to be perfect because he wants to be perfect. And they're really enjoying working for him. And that is half the battle. When you've got players that enjoy working for you, you are going to get so much more out of them. And I think Flores is having a massive impact. The Steelers are already starting to feel that full Flores effect. I think he can only really benefit the Pittsburgh Steelers and get even better. Our defense, get even better than it already is. His appointment was really exciting for me. I just think it was a masterstroke by Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin even was quoted as saying this. He said that I'm looking forward to sharpening my sword against his. So, he's looking to benefit as well from Brian Flores' knowledge. He's even said as much as well that Brian Flores will be a great help to him as a head coach. Flores' expertise in the defense is phenomenal. If you look as well at what he did, remember back to his time in New England, he took what we would describe as very average linebackers, like Calvin Noy, for example, and he turned them into fantastic Super Bowl winning linebackers. We in Miles Jack and Devin Bush have far more talented linebackers. Under that, Robert Spillane, Buddy Johnson. Buddy Johnson in his sophomore year is only going to benefit from working with Brian Flores. Mark Robinson, the rookie selected in this year's draft, again, he has spoken glowingly of working with Brian Flores. Brian Flores is going to have a major benefit on that guy's career, especially as, Robinson has only actually played 1 year as a linebacker. The jumps and the leaps forward he can make working with Flores will really benefit Mark Robinson and hopefully as well the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, guys, let me know what you think of Brian Flores as our coach. I think we're really going to feel the full Flores effect this year, and he is really going to take that defense to the next level, working under Coach Terrell Austin. Guys, thank you so much for your support. We're up to 1,010 subs. Now, if you have not yet subscribed to the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate, hit that sub button, please. Help us to keep boosting those watch hours, boosting those sub numbers, so we, Mark and I, as Steeler fans, can keep bringing you Steelers content for you, Steeler Nation. That's what matters to us. That's what we love doing. Thank you so much for listening again, and let's go Steelers. Here we go, Steelers.